All right, so today I'm joined by Melissa. Melissa, I'm in Arizona and you're in a different state. We're doing it. That's why we're doing it via Zoom. And you and I were talking via Instagram, and you had mentioned you have a friend that you're really worried about. You're concerned because she's battling some addictions. And I invited you to talk a little bit about how having a friend that's lost in this lifestyle, how that's affecting you as a friend. I think it's important for us to start talking to family and friends of addicts, because it's not just the addict, right, that's going through a tough time. It's also friends and family that love that person and that are shattered as well. So I appreciate you coming on to share your perspective and enlighten us a little bit. Okay, so what's going on with your friend?
Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I just wanted to say that. And yeah, it's a very large network of people that are affected, with any sort of addiction or even just mental illness. But in a nutshell, the story about my friend, and unfortunately I won't say names just because I haven't spoken to her about this, she grew up not like with me, but I met her in my early adolescence, and sleepovers at her house with my other really good friend who lives in California now. And she just really started hanging out with the wrong crowd. We were all kind of partying at the time, to be honest, and we were using certain pills. And I would sit there with her and our other friends and watch them smoke them. And I never wanted any part of that. I don't know what it was, never wanted any part of it. And then I did realize that it was Percocet or Oxycontin, and that was synthetic heroin, and for some reason, I don't know, something about just becoming a junkie and like that word. I know there's a lot of stigma behind it, and I don't really necessarily agree, but for lack of a better word, that lifestyle, I can't do it. Like, I'm way too much of a creature of comfort. But anyway, to be honest, I don't know why nobody ever saw these red flags. Like, there were huge red flags everywhere. I'm not really sure, why people weren't more concerned. Like, people would be like, oh yeah, that's just, we'll just call her Lily for the purpose of this video. Right? That's just Lily. That's just how she is, She is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. Like, when I say beautiful, like this, this woman could easily have been a model for Wilhelmina, any modeling agency. To this day, she could still be a model, guarantee you, for Inc. magazine. If you see this girl, you know who you are. Inc. magazine, I can probably hook you up with them. But anyway, beautiful, and everyone, liked her. She was very popular. So I think maybe that's why the red flags weren't, I don't know, they just weren't taken like super seriously. Then I think, we started going to college and stuff, so we all started doing our own things. But I do believe her family was sending her to rehabs at that point, and she literally left like every single one of them. The last one she went to was in Arizona, and we also had a mutual friend there who was going to the university there, Phoenix, whatever it is.
Arizona State University, ASU.
Yeah, the two of them were best friends. And obviously she was a lot more concerned because she was closer with her. She saw more, but I guess she was the first one that completely turned it, like gave her tough love from the beginning. She's like, I can't be around you if you're going to be living this lifestyle. Like, it's so toxic, you know what I mean? Because bigger things started happening, like engagements and, pregnancies and stuff. And it's like, you say you're going to be there. Just, we all know how it goes, right? So her last one she ended up was in Arizona, like I said. And I do believe she got hooked on methamphetamine there. So she was intravenously using it at that point, unfortunately. How you just like go into that, I don't know. Probably the people she was around. But the mutual friend who was up the university found out and Lily told her that she was pregnant, right? And so she got yeah, she got pregnant. And the mutual friend is like, all right, I got you a plane ticket. You know, you're gonna go home, like, and be sober and have your baby, right? Like, you're gonna keep doing drugs with like a baby, you know? And she was still in the right mind enough to like agree to that. So she met up with her. When she arrived, my friend said that like the person that dropped her off, like, I was missing teeth, looked just gnarly. And they had a lot of suitcases and like travel stuff with them. And you have to understand, like, for my friend who was at university to see that, we had never seen anything like that. Like, if you go to New York City, which is like 45 minutes away, you'll see homeless people. But it's like taboo. Like, in our area, everything gets swept under the rug. So yeah, of course people are struggling with addiction, but you don't see it. Like, you don't. So she was really weirded out. And then even Lily had a suitcase and had like brass knuckles in it and like tarps and stuff. Clearly you're homeless, right? So she grabs the drug out of her pocket and is like, oh, like, here, I've been doing this, you should try some, you know? And my friend at university was just like, oh my gosh, like, she was terrified. So whatever, my friend Lily goes home, has her baby. I actually did her maternity photos. And she was different. I'll tell you, she was definitely a changed woman. She did not have like the sense of reality. Like, she was always very much of a dreamer, but she had no reality, no perspective at all in anything. It was very alarming. So she stayed sober for about 1.5 years. And then she wanted to bring her son to Arizona to meet her son's family. And then, you know, we're all living our lives. I got a call from one of my friends, and we're like, you know, what's up with Lily doing? And long story short, I had a falling out with her, and we were starting to talk again. And she's just she's a completely different person, and not for the better. She's like super preppy and just weird now. She's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe she's dead, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, wow, like, for somebody that you love so much, it's kind of like a pretty definitive thing. Like, she's probably not dead, you know, let's figure it out. So I mean, I just Googled her name, simple Google search, found everything, found arrest records, prison records, mugshots, her entire criminal history. Oof. Wow, she got into a lot of trouble. She was
And Melissa, why do you think you were able to stay away from that? Why, if you guys were from the same community, same area, growing up together, school, why do you have the strength to say, you know what, I'm not interested in that? And why do you think Lily, it was more prone to say yes and be okay with living that way?
I really think it's just a difference of personalities when it comes down to it, because I would party, but for me personally, being that I'm very much a creature of comfort, I just didn't like staying out late, not knowing where I was sleeping. And for her, it was the exact opposite. She really felt like she was alive when she was just living life on a whim. So I think it might be difference of personality. I did actually have one moment of clarity, because I was about to consume a Suboxone, because the people that I was with were trying to get blues, whatever, and they couldn't find them. So they were like going to do that. And my friend she was so messed up. Like, this girl was so drunk and so wasted. She didn't even know where she was. But it's like, she came out of it for a second and she's like, Melissa, don't do that. And like, she looked at me like dead in the eye and said, don't do that. Like, I didn't do it. And I feel like that moment right there was like really pivotal. But in a nutshell, it's just like, I could not live that life. And I know that that's where addiction would have, my family would not put up with it. I'd be on the streets so quick. I would be selling my body so quick, probably. And like, my mental health would be horrible. It's weird because she hid her mental health problems pretty well. Just through this facade of like, everything's so happy, like we're all so good, like let's all be positive all the time, like that's how she talks. Like she's like, "Oh, I just love everything, I love life." And she doesn't at all. Like it's complete opposite. So I think there's a lot of mental illness that went on there that was undiagnosed and untreated.
Wow, so there's definitely underlying issues for a person, perhaps. That's what I've uncovered talking to people. I see a lot of neglect, abuse when they were younger, just issues, emotional, mental issues that go undiagnosed or they're not dealt with. And then they find that safety net, that comfort, like a warm blanket in drugs, right? Or in a bad relationship. And which just spirals out of control. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm with talking to all these people for this past year. And so maybe Lily had a little bit of that, you think?
Big time. It's strange because from the outside, right, her mother and father were together, or all everyone's mom and dad is getting divorced at this time, right? And it's like hers are still staying together. Like dad has a good job, she always had money, she always had the latest fashion, going to the latest concert, she had everything she wanted. So from my perspective, it's like there are like two all right, so like two ways of being like brought up, I guess, right? Like if you're in like a bad situation in your childhood, or if you have like a completely fine childhood, I would consider Lily's childhood completely fine. Although I don't know what was going on behind closed doors. However, I'm still in contact with her family to this day, and I just don't think that it's like that. I think she really does have a beautiful, big, happy family. But for most of the cases, like there's a lot of divorce, a lot of childhood trauma, like severe childhood trauma, that you become a lot more prone to it. But if you don't have that, you can still have a mental illness that's going to affect you in such a way where you can go down this path. So it's crazy because I never ever in my life thought that I would know somebody who I would consider like a junkie, like an addict. I hate to use those words again, but like what else a drug addict. Like I could be a drug addict, I could be abusing my medication right now, but like no, like she's like detached from family, on the like I don't know if she's on the streets in bandos, like I have no idea. Escorting, using drugs every day. That's a drug addict. So the fact that I found her criminal records, figured out what she's been up to, that she's still alive, I was perplexed, genuinely perplexed on like, okay, you had a baby, beautiful, perfect, healthy son, right? Gorgeous. Like, why would you not want to live for your baby? Like, you get locked up. All right, well, sit there and do your time, right? And then you need, like, you have a kid now. It's not just about you. You need to seek help and use the resources that are given to you and are there for your son, So at this point, her family is just, they're at the point where they can't take it anymore. It's way too painful. I mean, her baby cries for her, like he wants his mom, obviously, and he wants to be a police officer when he grows up. Isn't that so ironic?
Mm.
But
what do you think? And I would imagine, so by you being a friend and you used to party with her and you saw, the path that she took, and years later you're searching for her online. Hey, where is she? How is she? You're still talking to the family. So obviously you care, right? Enough to look for her and search and see where she's at, what she's up to. So it does cause a little bit of pain, right? For family and friends like you, family, definitely, like moms and dads, that, hey, where's my daughter at? I can't imagine that, right, as a parent. But what about you as a friend? That it could have been you, Melissa. It could have been easily you because you were partying with her at that time, right? So
easily. I mean, I was offered it all the time. I could have so easily done it. Like I said, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I mean, as her friend, and like it's her and I, we were not, I'm gonna be honest, we were not the closest of friends, but we definitely spent a lot of time together. And the time we did spend together, I think, was like a lot of good quality time. And we also, we're intertwined with like our families in a weird way. I don't know. We're from North Jersey, big Italian families, you know. We had a lot of mutual friends and stuff. And like, when I talk to them, they all seem to be too busy with their own lives, right? To really understand what's going on. So, like, my father is an addict, okay? I have addict tendencies and I have been addicted myself to the pills at that one point. Thank God I went onto the straight and narrow road. But yeah, they're all basically just either fed up with her or like just too busy in life. And I'm just like, that's shitty. Like, you say you love her, but like, you know, you just do a Google search and like go to images literally, and then you just can see everything from there. Like, I'm sure her family knows like that the deal, but I think they are literally so hurt, like so genuinely sad, like that they probably couldn't even look at her right now if she's not like, this girl. So we come from a really conservative area, right? And it's not even like her parents are that conservative, but she has literally inked her entire body up, right? Like, she still looks super awesome. Like, she's always going to be very, very beautiful, very gorgeous, sensual, whatever you want to say. She's beautiful. But I mean, from a mom's perspective, looking at your daughter who's addicted to drugs and like, face, neck, it's like, that's why I said inked magazine, like, what's up, you know? So I can imagine it's really hard for them. And I don't really speak to them about her. You know, we just kind of follow each other like on Facebook and stuff. I reached out to just one of the mutual friends that we've had because I have no one to talk to about this. That's why I have started reaching out to YouTube. Honestly, I went on YouTube and I was just like, day in the life of a meth user. And I stumbled upon a lot of your videos. And a lot of other ones. In particular, there is one I just want to say, Jessica Kent, you know, where I can really relate to that because she's a young woman herself and she went through that. So she explains it very well. And what I can see from your channel is that there will actually be people who are pregnant, like with baby in stomach, like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Like, I know I'm pregnant. I'm doing like 4 weeks and they're like smoking blues. What? That I don't understand. I don't understand that. So that is when I started watching your videos, I saw they're not there. The person is not there anymore. The drugs have literally poisoned their soul to the core. And that's why I'm so worried about her, because I don't know if she can come back. Can you come back from that? Like, that's uncharted territory for me. But all I know is that if she's watching this, you have a support team that you don't even know about, because I've been on YouTube, I've been going down these rabbit holes, okay? And they've led me to some wonderful people, Art including one of them. And there's other people out there that have resources for you. So if you ever need help, got my number, I message you all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think you bring up a valid point. That's how powerful the addiction is nowadays, right? Where a mother would endanger her unborn child, right, to satisfy that addiction. That's how powerful it is. And so that's scary as a society that we're not really addressing this issue right head on. It's going to have to be us, people like me and you, that are concerned about our friends, our family, our communities, right? Because she's young, you're young, everybody's young now. All the people I talk to, they're young, under 30, and they're living this life, and just it's a shame, right? Can they come back? They can, but will they? It's all on them. It's dependent on them, right? I just think that us creating a network of support, letting them know that we're here when they're ready to change and transform their lives, we'll drive them to the treatment center, we'll support them, we'll have a place for them to stay afterwards, right? We'll help them, but they have to want to help themselves first, right? If you want it more than your friend Lily, it's not gonna work. You're just wasting your time, right?
No, I don't need to bring junkies back to my, like, no, right. We're not doing that. We're not playing those games. No.
Right. Right.
And that's the harsh reality. So I think that's where her family's at. And I completely understand it, you know, obviously for her child too. So
Definitely. Definitely. As you know, and friends and family, at what point is it support and at what point is it enabling? You know, it's like a tough balance, right? When am I supporting
yeah.
and when am I enabling? And you have to teeter totter, got to balance it out, you know. But I'm gonna say thank you very much, Melissa, for sharing the story of your friend and your concern for your friend. I'm gonna send all prayers to your friend Lily, that she gets better, gets well. The Lost in Phoenix community will pray for her and that she gets better and gets well, especially with a friend like you that's there trying to message her and say, hey, I'm here for you, Googling her to try to help, right? She has a son that's waiting for his mom to get home, right? That's heartbreaking because he doesn't know, he doesn't understand yet, right? And I think I
Yeah.
think we'll be able to help when people like you and I get together and really try to get this message out. It might be helpful to other friends, other family that's kind of lost, right? You stumbled on me because you're actually doing research on YouTube about addiction and how you can help and understand it a little bit better. That's how I ended up with this channel. Same thing,
Really?
compassion, trying to understand and trying to make a difference out there. So I commend
Yeah.
you for that. What about you? What are you doing? What are you up to? Would you mind if people contacted you? Do you have a YouTube channel? How can people contact you for the future, for if they want support, if they want to give you words of encouragement, if they want to reach out to see how your friend is doing, Lily? Anything?
Yeah, also, like, since there are a lot of your viewers who are in Phoenix, like, if anybody knows anything about her, like, I'm completely judgment free. That's the thing. Like, it's really easy to judge people when they're like in their active addiction, but like, I'm trying to understand how it works so that I don't judge them, and I don't judge them anymore because somebody on YouTube did this. They were like, okay, this is a cup of brushes of makeup, right? And you clearly see that that's what it is, right? But when you're on drugs, this is what you see. So you can't see anything clearly any longer. And that, like, you can't even blame the person at that time. It's like the devil has taken over them. So long story short, sorry, my Instagram is it's at Melissa, MELISSA .xo, like hugs and kisses, .Renee. So melissa.xo.renee. And that's my personal Instagram account. Message me on there. Just no BS though, please. Like, just keep it real.
Awesome. I'll put that in the description as well for folks. So again, thank you very much for reaching out. I appreciate you sharing your story and kind of what you're going through. I think it was that.
I don't have a YouTube channel yet, but I'm going to start one, and I promise that I'm going to. I don't know what it would be under. I do have a YouTube right now. It's under NC, North Carolina. So NC auto models, AUTOMODELS, auto models. You can follow me on there until I start actually uploading videos that are about my story, because I have a story and I want to share it. So until then, you can just subscribe if you want, but I will definitely be doing that. And if you want to encourage me to do so, that would be great too, because I might need that. So thank you again so much for having me.
Yeah, Melissa, thank you for your time and opening up, being a little bit of, there's vulnerability when you're talking to strangers. Basically, you open up about a little bit about yourself. You're talking about yourself and your friend and what you guys are all going through. And I think what you're saying, unfortunately, is not uncommon nowadays, you know, and that's kind of sad to say that, you know, where we're going as a society, but together we'll be stronger together by understanding and sharing our compassion and faith that everything will be better for everybody. Okay. So I wish you all the best, Melissa. We'll stay in touch. Thank you
Yeah,
very
for
much.
sure.
Okay. Appreciate you.
Bye, guys.